Hello again and welcome to the first holiday edition of This Month in Science. My name is Nicholas.
And I'm Kristen. This holiday season we'll be looking at some local, national, and international scientific discoveries, ranging from optometry to psychology to foodology.
Let's kick off the episode by looking at a way you might be able to relieve some holiday stress. It appears that the golden rule has now been scientifically proven to be beneficial to one's health. According to a new research study published in a journal of the Association for Psychological Science, giving help to others, be it friends or strangers, can help mitigate the effects of everyday stressors on our mental health and emotions. Study author Emily Onsel of the Yale University School of Medicine explains that we as humans often turn to others for social support when we're feeling stressed. But new results in research suggest that proactively doing things for others may be an effective strategy for coping with daily worries and strains. The holiday season can be a very stressful time, so think about giving directions, asking someone if they need help, or holding the elevator door over the next month, says Onsel. It may end up helping you feel just a little bit better.
I love that story. I've always felt that I end up helping myself when I help or give to other people.
I feel the same way, and I think we always need more of that sentiment in our society.
Our next story looks at some new findings in the Department of Ophthalmology here at UAB. Dr. Cynthia Ousley, a professor at UAB, and her colleague Dr. Greg Jackson have discovered that adults whose eyes are slow to adjust to the dark have a greater risk of developing age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. AMD is the leading cause of blindness in older adults in the United States. And these researchers studied 325 adults aged 60 or older who all had healthy eyes with no degeneration were followed for 3 years. Those with slower adaptation with darkness were twice as likely to develop AMD as those with normal darkness adaptation. This knowledge could help speed along drug delivery development, as such advancements require the identification of biological targets for the drug to interact with.
I have terrible eyesight, so I hope they're able to come up with effective treatments for AMD before I develop it.
You never know what scientists will come up with over the next 50 years.
Well, you better watch out and you better not pout, because the next research spotlight we'll look at may have some of our parent viewers feeling a little bit uncomfortable. The University of Michigan Health System has found that helicopter parenting at the doctor's office may impact teen health. When it comes to their children's health checkups, just 34% of parents said that their teen discussed health concerns privately with the doctor without them in the room, and less than 10% said their teens can complete their health history form independently. Sarah Clark, MPH, says that the majority of parents are managing teens' healthcare visits, and their teens may be missing out on valuable opportunities to learn how to take ownership of their own health. Speaking with the doctor privately is important, not only to give teens a chance to disclose confidential information, but also to provide the opportunity for them to be an active participant in their own health care. Parents are naturally concerned about their child's health, and the transition to letting their teens become independent in the health setting can be difficult, says Clark. But with parents' guidance, these early opportunities will help teens prepare to navigate the healthcare system and take responsibility for their own health as they get older.
That idea seems similar to the general saying that kids need to get their feet wet to gain experience. I know my parents believed in that, and it helped me gain a lot of practical knowledge over the years.
I understand what you mean. My parents always encouraged me to talk to the doctor directly. I also know they're watching this, so I hope they don't take this story the wrong way.
Oh, I'm sure they won't. Now let's look at an article that examines the well-being of Europeans during Christmas time. A new study published at the Springer Journal of Applied Research in the Quality of Life reports that many Europeans do not experience the season of Christmas as a particularly jolly time, and often feel despondent and stressed. However, the study also suggests that Christians, particularly those who are very religious, are the exception to this pattern. According to Michael Mutz at Georgia Augusta University in Germany, the results of this study do not show that Christians are completely immune to the negative effects that Christmas period has on people's emotions. They only seem to be less affected than non-religious people. He notes this appears to hold true for all Christians, regardless of how religious they rate themselves. People with Christian affiliations and a strong sense of religiousness celebrate Christmas differently than the majority of non-Christians, says Mutz, and it can be assumed that the individuals are less prone to becoming absorbed by the consumerism that precedes the holidays. It sounds like some people over in Europe need to watch the movie How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Don't they know Christmas doesn't come from a store? Maybe Christmas,
He thought.
means a little bit more.
Indeed.
Well, for our last story of the day, we're going to head back home to UAB. Research performed by Dr. Edward Archer, an obesity theorist and research fellow with the UAB School of Public Health, has shown that the methods used to base decision-making for the scientific report of the 2015 Dietary Guidelines Advisory Committee are inherently and fatally flawed. The guidelines for this report are primarily informed by memory-based dietary assessment methods, known as MBMs, which typically consist of interviews and surveys that require study participants to remember and report their dietary intake. Archer says that relying on MBMs to inform dietary policy continues despite decades of evidence that MBM data can bear little relation to actual energy and nutrient consumption. His paper presented 5 arguments for rejecting the use of MBMs, and in a follow-up in Mayo Clinic proceedings published this month, he and his colleagues argue that nutrient epidemiologists have ignored the refutation of MBMs for years. Archer concludes that MBM data cannot be used to inform national dietary guidelines, and that continued funding of MBMs constitutes an unscientific and major misuse of research resources. Interestingly, Archer and the co-authors also suggest that the U.S. food supply and the nutritional status of Americans have improved to a level unparalleled in human history, indicating that the American diet is no longer a significant risk factor for disease for most individuals.
That is interesting. All my life I've heard that the average American has an extremely unhealthy diet.
I have as well, and I'm glad to hear that that's no longer the case.
Well, we hope you enjoyed our holiday installment of This Month in Science. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, I'm Kristen.
And I'm Nicholas. See you next year!